You want a relationship, genuinely. You think about it. You feel the absence of it. You see other people in loving, stable partnerships, and something in you aches for that. You are not someone who does not want connection. But then someone gets close, really close, and something shifts. You find reasons they are wrong for you. You start pulling back without fully understanding why. You create distance through silence, through criticism, through suddenly being too busy. And then when they finally give up and leave, you feel the loss deeply. And you are left wondering why you keep doing this, why you want something so badly and sabotage it every time it arrives. This is not confusion. This is a very specific attachment pattern with a very specific origin. And understanding it is the first step to actually breaking it. Chapter 1. What is really happening? The push and pull you feel is not contradiction. It is a logical response to a very old dilemma. At some point early in your life, closeness became associated with something painful, not always through dramatic trauma. Sometimes it was a caregiver who was loving, but also critical. Someone who was warm but unpredictable. Someone whose closeness came with conditions, with judgment, with the feeling that being fully known by them was not entirely safe. Your nervous system drew a conclusion from that. It decided that intimacy has a cost, that letting someone in means giving them the power to hurt you, that the closer someone gets, the greater the risk. So it built a solution. Want connection from a distance. Long for it when it is not there. But when it arrives and becomes real, when someone is actually present and available and asking to be let in, activate the exit. Create distance. Find the flaw. Push until they are far enough away to feel safe again. This is called the anxious avoidant conflict, and the fix is not to stop wanting love. It is to start making the inside of closeness feel less dangerous than the outside of it. Here's how. Chapter 2. How to start breaking the cycle. The cycle breaks when you learn to stay present at the moment you most want to run. That moment has a feeling. You will recognize it. It is the moment someone does something genuinely loving, and instead of receiving it, you feel irritable or claustrophobic, or suddenly very aware of everything that is wrong with them. That feeling is the signal, not that they are wrong for you, that your nervous system is activating its old protection response. When you feel it, do not act on it immediately. Instead, name it internally. Something like, "This is the moment I usually pull away." Naming it creates a small gap between the feeling and the behavior, and in that gap, you have a choice you didn't have before. Psychologist Dan Siegel calls this process "name it to tame it." When you bring conscious language to an emotional state, you engage the prefrontal cortex and begin to regulate the intensity of the response. You're not suppressing the feeling, you are giving it a label that reduces its power over your behavior. Start practicing this in lower stakes moments first, not in the middle of a serious conversation, in small everyday moments of closeness. When someone expresses care and you feel the urge to deflect, notice it. When someone gets emotionally close and you feel the pull toward distance, sit with the discomfort for 30 seconds longer than you normally would. Each time you do this, you are training your nervous system that closeness does not automatically lead to gain.
Chapter 3. The science behind the push. Here is what is happening underneath the surface. Attachment researchers Mario Makulincer and Philip Shaver have studied what they call the deactivating strategy. This is a pattern used by people with avoidant or fearful attachment styles, where the attachment system, instead of seeking closeness under stress, suppresses the need for it entirely. The person does not experience themselves as afraid of intimacy. They experience themselves as simply not needing it, or as finding the other person suddenly less attractive, or as feeling suffocated by perfectly normal levels of closeness. This strategy developed for a reason. If early experiences taught you that reaching for connection leads to rejection, criticism, or engulfment, the nervous system learns to shut the need down before it becomes visible. It is safer to not need than to need and be refused. But the need does not disappear, it goes underground, and it surfaces as longing when you are alone and as resistance when someone is right in front of you. The craving and the pushing are not opposites, they are the same wound expressing itself in two directions. Chapter 4. The deeper work. Understanding the pattern is not enough on its own. The nervous system does not update through insight, it updates through experience. The experience it needs is this: closeness that does not end in pain, connection that does not come with judgment, engulfment, or loss. This is what therapists call a corrective emotional experience, a term rooted in the work of psychiatrist Franz Alexander, describing moments where the emotional outcome of a situation is different from what the nervous system predicted. You create these experiences gradually, by staying a little longer in moments of intimacy before creating distance, by allowing someone to care for you without immediately finding a reason to dismiss the care, by choosing, slowly and repeatedly, to let people in slightly further than feels comfortable, and noticing that the feared outcome does not arrive. You also need to get honest about the role you play in selecting partners. People who push others away often unconsciously choose partners who are slightly unavailable, because unavailability keeps the intimacy at a manageable distance. If every person you have ever loved has been emotionally unavailable in some way, that is not bad luck. That is a pattern worth examining. A fully available partner feels threatening precisely because full availability removes the built-in distance you rely on to feel safe. The goal is not to force yourself into closeness that overwhelms you. It is to gradually expand your window of tolerance for intimacy, one honest moment at a time, one staid conversation at a time, one received act of care at a time. You are not someone who does not deserve love. You are not someone who is broken beyond repair. You are someone whose nervous system learned that love and danger live close together. That lesson kept you safe once. It is costing you now. The love you crave is not incompatible with who you are. It is waiting on the other side of the wall you built to survive. And walls, unlike wounds, can come down deliberately. Here is your challenge. Within the next 24 hours, find one moment where someone offers you something genuine, care, warmth, presence, and instead of deflecting or pulling back, let yourself receive it fully. Do not minimize it. Do not immediately reciprocate to neutralize it. Just take it in. Notice what your body does. That discomfort you feel is not a warning. It is the feeling of something old beginning to change. Subscribe for the next video. The work continues there.